We bought a bar.
What?
We bought a bar. Sorry.
How dare you?
We bought a bar.
And you didn't tell me.
We're telling you right now.
Oh, wow.
Tell them what Bubbles said to your mom. You told me last night.
Yeah, so Bubbles, who's still in the pub. You know Bubbles?
I do not.
Bubbles. My mom is
I've
going.
heard of Bubbles, but I've not.
My
He
mom
currently
I've
owns
not met
Carne
Bubbles.
Asada.
Carne Asada. She went in to get some stuff the other day for a party. And as soon as my mom walks in, Bubbles in his Bubbles voice yells, "Is Cory taking stupid pills?"
Nice.
Yeah.
We bought a bar.
So, cool. No buyer's remorse yet?
No, not yet.
Is that like the day after?
At some point.
December. When is the official takeover?
December 1st, it is our joint.
And this joint is currently Doc's.
And it will be Docs.
And will be
And it
Doc's.
will be Doc's.
Docs.
Not changing the name.
Docs. Nope.
Still Docs.
Cool.
We're going to work on maybe a better logo than a wolf in a doctor's outfit with a guitar.
I wouldn't say better logo.
I don't
I'd say
know that
updated logo.
Updated.
Okay, I would say that you can't. I don't know if you can get better.
No, I don't. I
than
love
that.
the logo. He wants Fierce Wolf. I want Happy Drunk Wolf like they have now.
Yep.
Maybe you could do like a two-headed wolf, and one is fierce, and one is
I'll only go Fierce if it's
Happy
like
Drunk.
Matthew McConaughey Fierce. Like, little kind of throwing shade Fierce.
okay.
Like Fierce as the kids use it nowadays.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
But yeah, we're going to be, our goal is to be a place for, we've got all kinds of crowds in there now. We've got a great after work crowd, a great regular crowd. And we've got a good sports crowd. Here's how I came across Docs. Really. So I might be Evansville's biggest sports fan, or maybe biggest sports nerd. And I've always been looking for a place to catch games that was affordable.
Sure.
That had the game on. If it was a big game, would have game volume on, and had good service and had good food. And for the longest time, I tried these different places, and you'd go like, there's obviously Buffalo Wild Wings, but you're paying $7 for a beer. And I'm not going to trash any other local places because I don't think that's a good thing to do. But a gigantic like corporate chain like Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm perfectly comfortable saying the service is always terrible. I mean, it's bad service, and you leave mad. And it's super expensive. You'll go watch a Colts game with your buddies, and by halftime, you get your tab, and it's like $47 just for you for some wings and beer. Right. So I started looking, and I started going to different dive bars and different places around Evansville. And there were some that were really cool sports bars, but boom, right halftime of the Colts game, sound goes off. We're going to have a band, and there's 15 people watching the Colts, and there's 2 people in there for the band, but we're going to have a band. And that's okay. That's what they are. But I wouldn't classify any place that turns off the local big weekly sports game for a band to really be a sports bar. You know what I mean? It's more of a live music thing. If that's what they give priority to, that's what it is to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you go to different local bars and live and dive bars and different places, but nothing ever really did it for me until I found this little jewel right in the heart of Jimtown. Called Docs. And every time I'd go in there after work, I just keep thinking like, man, this is like a local Buffalo Wild Wings, and the beer is $2. And the food is very affordable, and the food is edible.
It's extremely affordable.
Yeah, very affordable. So I fell in love with this place, and it became the place I went to after work at Turonis for a beer every day. I mean, every day. You guys heard me mention Docs on my podcast, on this podcast before. And after a while, I got to the point to where I decided it was time for me to make my own money. And Cory and I had kind of talked and dreamt a little bit about doing something. And this opportunity to buy Docs fell in our lap.
Yeah.
So we did it.
Cool.
That's it. That's the story.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.
We bought a bar.
So
Good
we bought
job.
a bar.
Good job, everybody.
It happened really quickly, actually.
Yep.
It went from us randomly talking about what can we do to a text that's like, what about Docs, to just, we bought Docs.
Yep.
It went that fast.
So what, they were looking to sell, or there's something you strong-arm them into?
No, it was something they were definitely looking to sell. The current owner is also a regular there, really, really cool guy named Stan Fishburne. He owns a few companies in Evansville. And I think he, quite honestly, he's owned the bar for a while, kind of off and on. He's sold and leased to other people. Always ended up buying it back. And I think he's finally to that point. I don't mean to speak for him.
Yeah.
But he's to that point where he's old enough and successful enough that he's ready to just be the guy at the bar having his Bud Light after work. And
Nice.
if there's an issue or something's broken, not having to have somebody come up to him anymore.
He's like, good luck.
Yep, exactly. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you cut off one head, two more shall appear. So he's going to sell to us, and we'll be dealing with all those headaches.
That's right.
Okay. Will there be a whole lot of changes? You mentioned the logo, maybe updating, not necessarily.
I'd say it'll look a lot like it does now when we take over December 1st. Over time, there may be some periodic changes, especially to the menu. May add some stuff. Maybe not necessarily remove stuff. Maybe change it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting. There's talks of adding breakfasts.
Ooh.
Yes.
And then whatever may come from that. That just comes from us. We like to be at places at 7 a.m. Why
Right.
wouldn't everybody?
Exactly. We will be opening December 1st. We're open at 7 a.m. every day,
That's right.
bright and early.
Breaking news.
So I can get my beer before work.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of people. It's an underserved pre-work drinking crowd. We want to see that's fixed at Doc's.
No,
There
perfect.
are actually more pre-work drinkers than there are third shifters getting off at 7 a.m. That's
Yes.
literally why we're not for the third shifters, but for the pre-work
pre-work
drinkers.
A little coffee, a little Irish
Right.
coffee, maybe on the
screwdriver.
Screwdriver.
No, but it's nice. Like
Mimosa.
some people have, a weekday day off,
Yeah.
and maybe they drop their kid off at school, and they're a single mother, and dad picks them up, and they need someplace to go drink at 9. We want to be that place.
Yeah. And there's a lot more people who drink at 9 in Evansville than you think. A lot of people listen to this are like, people drink at 9. It's like, yes.
Yes.
As someone who
Yes.
would look for a place to drink at 9,
Yep.
believe me, there are 9 o'clock drinkers.
Yep.
Oh man. So is this not for drinkers, but there's family area as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
There's
this
a
is-
family area. Right now, they have a rule, and it has nothing to do with the state law or anything.
Yeah.
But they have a rule to where no kids past 9 p.m. If a kid's in there with his dad watching the Cubs game, and it's 9 o'clock and it's the bottom of the 8th,
Yep.
they can stay. Here's the one thing you got to understand. Doc's is it's a really nice place. Every single person who's come in
Yeah.
to see us knows it's on 1305 Stringtown Rd in the middle of Jimtown. So they're expecting like the walls to be falling off and there to be bullet holes in the window.
Right.
People walk in and they look like a kid at Disney World, like just amazed at how clean and nice and updated and just how nice the place is.
Yeah.
It's
So
an odd compliment when people are like,
Yeah.
"This place isn't that bad."
Yeah, really.
It's in good
All the
shape.
time. Every person that walks in the door for the first time. But it really is a cool place to bring kids. Back in the family section, just know that if you have your kids there past 9, I'm going to be honest with you. You got your kids in the Jimtown bar past 9. So you need to know
It's
what.
kind of on you.
Honestly, and we have a lot of people bring
Somebody
the kids
could
in for
play a
lunch.
song on the jukebox that you may not want your son to hear
Right.
yet.
But it's one of those things. We end up in situations with my buddies that I work with at Turonis all the time to where Ponch has his kids and we want to go drink beer and watch NFL games on Sunday.
Right.
When he has his kids with him, we also don't want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings because it'll be $952 for a table of 8.
Right.
So we've gone to Doc's before. And the crowd in there on a Sunday afternoon for football is not very rowdy,
No,
You're not going to get a lot of
it's not rowdy
F-bombs,
very
yeah.
often. There's occasionally, maybe like we're 2 of them, so I can say it. There's occasionally get somebody who's just talking loudly, and
Yep.
cuss words may slip
Talk
out.
loud? I don't.
So yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing malicious. It's just occasional bar talk that
Yeah.
leads into an F word or 2.
Right.
But not like we're not throwing glasses at each other.
It's not Roadhouse.
Not yet.
It's the same stuff you'd probably hear from the family room at the Highland Inn.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Honestly, it's even in an after work crowd, but kid friendly, 15 TVs. Sports fans, listen, we've got every single package possible.
All of them.
We've got the NBA League Pass, NHL Center Ice, MLB Extra Innings, NFL Sunday Ticket, and we even paid a little more than we probably should have for some of those extra soccer channels. If something's on Fox Deportes, we got it. It's
Sweet.
going to be all in Spanish, but we've got it.
That's my preferred way of watching
Yeah,
games.
for sure.
Actually, I watched Monday Night Football True Story last night in the Spanish
Did you really?
announcers. It was the best. It was so good.
And you say you're not a hipster.
No, I was with Lou Rodriguez. he's a hipster. Is this so? Formerly of Turonis,
Yes.
Josh, Big Cat, if I may. I know that people are
course.
concerned. You were pretty good at brewing the beer,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
and a lot of people were wondering. I've heard this are you not going to brew beer anymore? Is there any plans? Are you done with that chapter of your life?
No.
Okay.
I can tell people two things about beer. I will brew beer again. It's just not right now, and it's not at Docks. We don't have the space there. I just bought my first restaurant and bar.
Yep.
The last thing I want to do is throw 20 irons in the fire at once. I've already got enough going on there, and it's been great having Cory as a partner because we're kind of splitting up the workload. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I don't see it as being a wise thing to rip right into brewing right away while I'm also trying to figure out the management side of things.
Yeah.
It won't be long, though, folks. Don't worry.
All right. Okay. There was a lot of concern and
a lot of people have been talking to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of
if
that.
I can just make a note, though, like Merle was trained by my hand at Turonis. He's going to do a fantastic job at Turonis. I know this is not a Turonis podcast. It's not a Merle podcast, but it is impossible for me to go on a podcast without mentioning my best buddy Merle. And I will say,
aren't all podcasts Merle podcasts?
The beer there is going to stay just as delicious. I left him all of my recipes.
Nice.
I'm a phone call away. He was texting me this morning with a couple questions. So Turonis beer will not suffer one bit.
Yep.
Merle's going to do a great job. He's set up for success. He's a great worker, a smart guy. Mm-hmm. You can still drink the beer I made, just he's making it. Same recipes.
Cool. And Cory.
Yeah, bring it.
This seems like a tailor-made career for you. Has your whole life been pointing to this one?
What does that mean?
I'm just saying that
you drink a lot, sir.
When you're really good at something and you can get paid for it.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things like you're there all the time. Why don't you just buy the place?
Yeah, right. No, it's more of a if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Right?
Yeah, actually, I think that's the sort of what led to the conversation that we had way back when we were just thinking about what can we open. Mm-hmm. Yep. It was like, dude, this is the life. We know it because we live it.
Yep.
Like let's do this
This
all
is
the time.
what I would do all the time. I can say right now,
like a good example is when we were first talking, this first conversation, we were talking about our buddy Marlon's Gymtown, and we're like, this guy goes to work, and he's just hanging out with his buddies all day.
Yep.
And I mean, I know that because we go watch Jeopardy there every day at 3:30.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, if the worst case scenario is we're sitting there every day at work with our buddies, that's fun. Mm-hmm. There are worse ways to live life.
There's a bar in St. Louis that is about 2 blocks down from Busch Stadium. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big Tigers fan. So anytime the Tigers play in St. Louis, I always go, which is about every third year. And there's a bar called the Oyster Bar. Mm-hmm. And it's got an outdoor seating area. And every year I go, I like to get there 2 hours early and go sit at the Oyster Bar and drink beer because there's always a couple other Tigers fans in town. And the Cardinals fans are fun to sit there and talk to.
Sure, yeah.
And I just remember thinking 3 or 4 years ago, if I could do anything in the world, to make $30,000 a year, I would own a little old tavern, a couple blocks from a baseball park, and just be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so it's kind of crazy to me that at 31, I'm about to do what I would be doing if I was retired. Mm-hmm. I'm not retired. I could get a phone call right now that something's going wrong and I got to get over there and fix it. I get that. I'm not trying to swing that around.
Right, yeah.
But at the same time, this is what I would be doing. Like if I made it to 60 and then could afford this, I would just go do this instead of just sitting around waiting to die, you know?
Right.
A lot of my work life was just sort of wondering how soon I could get to a bar. So it's like, I mean, and so I'd rather deal with the problems.
I think that's a lot of people's work life.
Yeah,
right. Well, so now it's like if we take on the problems and the issues with owning it, then that'd be our job. We're already we've cut out the middleman, I guess.
Sure. Is there anything that's scaring you about this whole thing?
A
little bit. I mean, the ceiling could cave in.
Well, you know what's crazy?
I mean, we could need a new pizza oven tomorrow.
I was talking. My friend Andrew Patterson was in last night, and I was talking with him, and I said, "Man, this crazy thing. I've been having nightmares like crazy. Just every night, I have 2 or 3 nightmares. I wake up, and people keep asking me this because they're telling me it's because I'm stressed about going into business for myself, but I'm not, man. I'm not." Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that passive aggressive where I don't even realize I'm stressed, and then it just pops up in nightmares.
You just start crying in the middle of the day.
The right song comes on. The Carpenters comes on.
Yeah. Oh man.
But for me, I'm not stressed and I'm not scared because it's going to be fine. And if it isn't, if this thing falls apart, I'm 31. I got my life put back together by the time I'm 40.
Yeah.
You know, and if Abby and I lose the house, then we'll get an apartment. This stuff we fear because of I don't mean to get weird on you. We're set up in this capitalistic system where you have to acquire crap and keep your crap. It keeps us in these little boxes, man. It keeps us in these scared little boxes, and we don't do some really cool stuff. And maybe if I had kids and I was 50 and a 401k that was bulging and I couldn't cash into it, I wouldn't do this crazy stuff. But right now is the time to try this crazy thing. And if it barely works, then it works. If it barely works, our house is paid off in 9 years. If it doesn't, we're losing our house. But like I said, we'll just go get an apartment, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I've got no attachments. I've got no wife, no kids. If it all falls apart, then...
You'll always have your hair.
Yeah. I've got this amazing head of hair, and I'll just move on.
We're moving to, if it fails, we're moving to Thunder Bay.
Ooh.
I'm not even sure what that means.
It's up in Canada.
Oh.
Canada?
It's been known as one of the coolest cities in the world. It's like the Austin, Texas of Canada.
But yeah.
Wow.
But one of the big selling points for me was this place has a stage. Mm-hmm. And this being my third day in a row podcasting here, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It says three's a trend.
And the other day we were talking about maybe a place you could have a live podcast.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
We could get an Evansville podcast going on stage anytime you want.
Yeah, I like that. Are you going to have any musical acts? I know you talked about music, but are you going to actually do that?
Here's what I'm telling people.
Yep.
It's the last thing on my mind right now. There's so much we got to get right with that place.
Right.
We've got an awesome stage and an awesome space. We'd be foolish not to use that at some point for some music.
Yep.
But I don't think it'll ever be one of those like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday come and it's $5 cover
because
and
you've got
just band.
Be two or three events a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
There will be live. So we can kind of announce this today. I mean, we've put some stuff out about it, but on the 1st, we're gonna have a big party on that day where there's gonna be live music at that, and there will be some bands that we just want to see. And since we're gonna be at this bar a lot, maybe we'll have them play there, kind of thing.
Sure.
Probably do a few special karaoke type things.
Yes. Yes.
There's some talk about having some Christmas song karaoke at our Christmas party.
Yep.
But that's in the works.
So we've got 3. Do we want to mention the Hatfield thing? That's topical, right?
It's released there. We can talk about it.
Okay. So we've got 3 events coming up in December that people need to know about, and then we can just give you the rundown of the information for the bar. December 1st is our Coup des Docks
Coup des
bar
Docks
takeover party, 7 a.m. to
Coup des
midnight.
Docks.
We're going to have breakfast in the morning. We're going to have a bunch of butts going on the grill all day and on the smoker, and we're going to have barbecue sandwiches
Pork
for lunch.
butts.
Yep.
I assumed.
And then we've got Lindsey Williams coming in at night to play some music, and we're just going to kind of hang out and maybe
big
do
party
some
that day.
toasts. Yeah, we're all open all day. Wednesday, December 6th.
The 6th.
You want to tell them about that one?
Is that 4 to 7?
Yes.
Okay, 4 to 7. Ryan Hatfield is having his announcement he's going to rerun for his spot at state representative.
Okay.
He's going to rerun next year. So he's announcing his candidacy there 4 to 7. So you can come give him some money, and then
finally December 16th, a very Docks Christmas dress code, Christmas morning jammies. And no
Christmas jammies.
No Rick
Christmas
pay. That
jammies.
doesn't mean you can show up in your whitey tighties. We are talking about having some Christmas karaoke, and that'll be kind of, hey, everybody that works here, we just bought this place officially 2 weeks ago, so we can't afford to throw a whole big Christmas party, so it's a whole big bar Christmas party. So we want all our friends,
Right.
all the regulars at Docks, and all the employees there.
Come tip them a little extra for
We'll
us,
have
please.
it'll basically be our customer appreciation day for the year. We're not going to make very much money that day, but we'll have a good old time and maybe win some new regulars out of it.
Nice.
So what you need to know, 1305 Stringtown Avenue. It's actually right after Governor and Garvin splits, right next to North Point Tobacco.
Okay.
Very interesting little store there. Got tons of parking, kids section or family section in the back. The family section has clear view of like 5 or 6 TVs, so it's not like you're just in this little weird room where you're away from all the fun.
The parking lot is right across from the entrance, so it's all in its own little section.
Yep.
You're shut off. It's not dangerous. You're not parking in a neighborhood. It's all secluded. You can come by yourself. You're fine.
Open every day at 7 a.m.
7 to 11.
Yeah, 7 to 11 pretty much. Weekends maybe a little later, just depending on the busyness. I am a firm believer that nothing good happens after midnight, so it's not. If you're still out at 2 a.m., you want to come by for a beer, don't, because we won't be open.
Yeah.
Also, it's important to note that 7 a.m. starts December 1st. So if you go there at 7 a.m. before December 1st, they will be closed.
True. Yep. 7 a.m.
So
December 1st.
don't come there
on.
excited to see us next week
Right.
at 8.
And Big Cat and Big Sam in here. Us two will be doing the bulk of the 7 a.m. bartending shifts
Right.
ourselves. So if you're wondering
So if you
about the
knock
service,
off work and you want to hang out with us,
Yep.
the best time's going to be 7 to 11
Yep.
a.m.
Damn.
Or 7 to 11 p.m. is fine too, anytime in there.
Every day or every weekday there are going to be $5 food specials. You can come by and have lunch for $5.
Monday.
Burger and
Tuesday.
chips. Tuesday is
Yeah, this is supposed to be rapid fire.
stromboli.
Let's start over. Monday.
Burger.
Tuesday.
Stromboli.
Wednesday.
Chicken sandwich.
Thursday.
Tenderloin.
They get those backwards. Tenderloin Wednesday.
We're doing it opposite.
Oh, cool. Friday.
Pizza party.
Pizza
Large
party.
dine-in or carry.
Saturday.
Dine-in or carry out. We're going to do large 3-topping pizza for $10. Add breadsticks for $2.50.
Saturday. Manager's choice.
Catfish.
This is the Doc's Pizza that you did not allow yourself to vote on Pizza Quest, right? Because
They were not in the
such an
contest.
affinity for.
Yeah, I was not allowed to vote because I was a regular there and I abstained from voting.
Right.
I thought they weren't in the competition.
They weren't in the finale.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, I didn't know. The one I
We got to
did
work
too.
on that.
That will never
Sorry.
air. Thanks, Clark. I've been calling him out every episode.
And then Sunday is
One of these days.
Well,
Sunday
Sundays will be-
was what?
Wings, hot wings.
Wings.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Have you had the wings?
I have not.
Yeah,
You
Sunday's
can't
a
say
Sunday
you have
Funday
facial hair.
special. 6 big ass wings and a bucket of beer for $15.
Damn.
So it's not a bad deal.
No.
Lunch,
And these
lunch and a
these
buzz.
aren't weak
$15.
wings. These are legit.
Yep,
The real
best
deal
wings in
wings.
Evansville. I promise you. Best wings in Evansville where the bartender's not mad.
What,
the whole
what else you
time.
got? What else you got, Jason? What else you got?
December 20th.
Okay, 12/20.
Right.
What day is that?
I believe it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
What's up with that?
Duke versus the University of Evansville
Wow.
At Duke, right?
at Duke Cameron Indoor Stadium.
You gonna come watch it?
It's
Maybe we should do that.
We'll do a
we
blowout.
will make an event. We'll make an event for it.
What's the big one?
What are you providing for us?
I could show
Because
up.
you're sponsoring that day, right?
I could show up.
Okay.
So you're not going to show up until then, is what you're saying?
No, I'll show up.
Are you going to cheer for Duke against UE?
Oh yeah.
See,
Yeah, I
I've
would-
always said I'm a Kentucky fan, but I would cheer for UE to beat Kentucky.
No, I would cheer for
I would
Michigan to
cheer for
beat
Duke.
UE.
No, I would always cheer. It'd be much better for IU, and it won't hurt Duke. Come on,
No.
that's
It'll hurt Duke.
I mean, it would be awesome.
It would
for
not
me.
hurt Duke at all.
Honestly, it would probably help my family in general because my wife works for UE and would help her recruiting.
there's no
But-
negative for Duke, and no
That's a little negative.
what they're gonna make the tournament. Then you just got to win 6 games. Come
Yeah.
on,
It's all about perception, man.
they're not gonna be like, you know what? Let's give them a 2 seed instead of a 1 because LSU.
You're
So
not-
what?
might
Win
be
6
not
deciding
games.
You're
factor.
not winning
That might be
this.
the deciding factor.
Yeah, that's it.
Win
Yeah.
6 games.
No, they're good this year. It's not probably.
All
not
right.
even
Well,
come
here's
up.
the thing.
I'll root for
I'm
UE to
gonna-
make a strong showing. How about that?
Now, just because of this, we're going to have the sound of the game off, and it's going to be country music hits on the jukebox.
Yep.
No, I'm not coming
A
in.
mixture of country and hip hop.
Yeah, like
I would
only
like
country
as
hip
much,
hop.
I would like as much rap rock.
So
guitar
Florida
as
Georgia
we do.
Line and Nelly
Yeah.
and Tim McGraw and
Ooh,
Nelly.
Nelly.
Yep.
Just those 2 songs back
Perfect.
to back.
That's perfect. I can do that.
No, yeah, that'll be on for sure.
We could.
So this is what I'm trying to get at is for the sports fan in Evansville. When you say Duke plays Kentucky, is there going to be a special thing for that? Yes,
Every day.
easy money. This is our everyday life
the
now.
place
This
to
is
go.
Yeah.
this is not
'Cause
like,
you know, like, hey,
Indiana
this
at
thing-
Jimtown Bar, which is a
Right.
great place to catch an Indiana game.
Oh, Duke
This
plays
is-
Indiana this year too.
This
by
is
the way.
go
not
there.
like the Super Bowl at a local bar in Haney's Corner where they're like, it's a Super Bowl, we'll throw the volume on.
Right.
This is every day
Every
there's
day.
something. We were getting down on Monday Night Football last night. You
So
know?
if your question is, will you have that sporting event? The answer is we better.
Yep.
We'll figure out a way. Now, there may be some times where it's like you have to pay $16 to have UE at this opponent that we may not do that.
Right.
You could maybe call before. But if it's on DirecTV,
If it's on a channel,
we're doing it.
So that's another point because I know you're not necessarily UFC fans or fight fans or stuff like that, but will that something like that be available upon? Like you talk about it, like there was a UFC thing this weekend. I don't know if you
okay,
guys would have-
here's the thing with UFC. I'm not a UFC guy.
Right.
I don't think Corey is either.
Right.
But the people who like UFC, their money is just as green as the people
very true.
who like the NHL.
right.
However, it's pay-per-view.
Yep. A lot of the gigantic events are pay-per-view, and they're based on the seating. We've got a pretty big place. So it will not make any sense for us to pay $4,000 for a UFC event.
Is that how that
when
works?
everyone
Yeah, it's
else
by capacity.
when everyone else is having UFC and
Right.
we may net $2,000
Gotcha. Okay. Because I didn't know if it was like
because
just the same
we probably
price
would
for
have made
everyone.
$2,000
No.
that Saturday night anyway, versus taking the risk of hopefully making $6,000 to pay them $4,000.
See, that's one where like beat-ups can
Gotcha.
take that hit.
Right. Yeah, because they'll.
Right.
That's fine. You can go to beat up.
And then-
They
and
charge
that-
people at the door for it.
Right.
That also applies to like WrestleMania, WWE stuff. It's like any pay-per-view. It's hard to do for a really small business.
And with a lot of that too, a lot of the fight stuff,
Yep.
especially WWE. As much as I would love to include that in our package in our repertoire, it's so narrative driven. I had someone ask me earlier today if we were going to be showing the Ric Flair documentary tonight, and I said it'll be on. But good luck hearing a documentary in any bar. We're not going to sit here and tell our regulars that worked hard all day that don't care about that movie, be quiet, the documentary's back on.
Who would not care about the Ric Flair
Exactly.
documentary?
Well, that's a whole other thing.
different
That's a whole other
topic,
thing.
But maybe.
But
I
that's the thing with WWE and even some UFC. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you're the type of person who really has to hear the winning fighter's interview right after, it's just going to be tough to do. We're not going to tell
Right.
everybody to be quiet so you can hear this guy talk for 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
Which is literally my favorite part. The matches in WWE are way worse than the talking.
Yeah.
All right.
I get what you're saying there.
So yeah, that to answer that question.
Okay. That makes sense. I never.
But yeah, any basketball game, football game, hockey game, soccer match, NASCAR race.
Yeah, NASCAR.
I'm even making this guy get a little more into golf. I mean, we're doing it all. If it's on TV,
I have
it's
a
gonna be on the
TV
bar.
sheet that I do for every day of what's on, what channel it's on, and you'll be happy to see that the one I'm printing off today for Thursday includes the OHL Open on Golf
Beautiful.
Channel.
Does will the waitresses know how to work a remote?
For the most part, we're going to be handling that. We're going to be the director of programming, and the sheet actually is built to where if we're not there for some reason,
Yeah, we go take a business meeting at Deerhead or
Town
something.
Bar or Deerhead, if we're not there for some reason, the game is listed by time.
Yeah.
They can look exactly what channel it's on, look on the channel sheet, and punch in those numbers.
Yeah, so if you go in and the server says, I don't think we get that channel, tell them check old Big Cat's list.
Yep.
Check the list.
Yep, we want to make sure that that's an important part of. I've always been a sports fan that goes out to bars. I guess I'll close with this. I've always been a sports fan that goes out to bars. For me,
I guess we're wrapping it up. I had a lot more
I guess
questions.
I didn't
but,
look at the clock.
Do you want us to sit here and talk for an hour about how we bought a bar,
I mean,
which is more editing
I was
for
hoping
you?
we could get to the
can just talk about
super
whatever.
fight. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, we
we
can
don't
do
have
super
a
fight.
super fight. I don't have a super fight.
Damn it. Okay.
What I'm trying to say here, before you guys derailed me,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We'll cut this
I've
out.
always been the fan that walks in and I'll ask for a game. And if it's a big game, a Michigan football game, I want volume. And I'll walk in and I'll ask for a game to be on. And if that bartender or that server's attitude or answer is anything short of absolutely, what channel is it on? Anything short of that, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Because the reality, what these bartenders of Evansville, Indiana need to know is that I could have stayed home, man. I could have went and bought
Right.
a case of Busch Light and some cheeseburgers for 1/3 of what my tab's going to be here watching this game and tipping you, and had buddies over. I probably would have got more buddies to hang out if we were at my house than going to a bar. There should be no answer other than, sorry, dude, we really don't have beIN Sports 7 on Al Jazeera Network because we don't have that. But if it's not, we literally don't have that channel. It should be absolutely, what can I do to get that on for you? Is it starting soon? And it's like, bartenders in Evansville don't realize that. I don't care if it's a dive bar. I don't care if it's Applebee's. I came out to watch this thing. You do not want to create a culture in Evansville that we have now to where people just watch at home because it's such a hard time to get a game on the TV. You know what I mean? And so that is not how it's going to be at Doc's. Evansville sports fans, we're going to have it handled because it's going to be the way you want it because that's the way I would want it to be.
All right.
Boom.
Yeah. I would drop this mic if it wasn't so expensive.
Yeah, please don't. I can give you a fake mic to drop if you want.
Wait, that's not a mic. Penis joke.
Good job, everybody.